Hello, Cam. Thank you for joining me.
Great to be here, Kath, as always.
Yeah, and so we're doing having some special conversations around at the moment around COVID-19, and we're creating little micro series on some interesting information to help people manage themselves and their families at home. And in this episode 2, I wanted to sort of pick your brains around immunity and stress. It's obviously a really important topic at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, like in points of our lives, we have like acute stress, we have chronic stress, and some of that is good, but not all stress is actually really healthy for us. And at the moment, a lot of the focus that is important to us is actually how do we strengthen our immune systems, and how does stress interplay actually with that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, cool. So, well, firstly, stress is essential in our body. We have to have it. This is how we grow.
Yeah.
But it's designed to be in short bouts and then followed by a recovery. But often what we'll find is that even if you're doing your exercise well or your nutrition well, there's things that stress you, and they stress you in a prolonged way. And what happens is when your stress levels are prolonged, your ability to fight off immune sort of relevant things like viruses and bacteria, it significantly reduces. You can't mount the same attack. And the perfect example of that is you might be exercising well and you're working really, really hard, and then you go on holidays and you fall sick.
Yeah.
So it's while you're stressed, your immune system doesn't actually mount an attack. It's only when you rest. And so, but the really interesting thing about that is that different people actually need different things to rest. Some people, if they exercise first thing in the morning, it can increase their stress levels, their prolongation. Some people, if they're eating the wrong types of grains or vegetables or meats, it can actually stress their body due to the chemical compounds that are found in those. Or it could even be your social interactions, having tension that's not dealt with at home, having work that's placed more stress on you, all of those things. How you navigate that, it's going to need to be individual for you, because we're all different as to how we interact with those things.
Yeah, and I think they're really interesting points, because we know that acute stress helps to stimulate, it helps to get our immune system practicing for when it really needs to be activated. But when we have this prolonged stress, which I guess is really like chronic stress, and it might be because we're uncomfortable with the setup in our environment, or like you said, what we're eating, or we're burning the candle at both ends.
Yep.
It's actually not good, and it actually plays against our immune system. Like, it does actually suppress it, and it does deplete its ability to perform the way it actually should be performing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's sometimes it's the subtle things that you don't even realize that are stressing you. It could be the fact that you're sitting in air conditioning for a prolonged period of time. That can be a stressor for some people. It's completely relieving for others, and it strengthens their immune system because their thermoregulation is better. So it's actually just bringing awareness to that whole piece, that there are so many things that can actually interact with your body and suppress it, and the immune system, your response that it can mount. And so understanding exactly what's right for your body is essential at this time more than any other time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so things that, because I'm working remotely from home, like, many people around the world. And so the things that I'm conscious of in my environment is, have I got my environment set up? Have I got all the essentials that I need, just to feel like I'm comfortable? There isn't, do I need to have a bit more coffee in the house, or do I need to make sure that I've got the right chairs and, just my environment set up, and am I eating nutritiously as well, and making time to actually eat? And because we know that mental health and emotional health play a really big part actually in our physical health, which obviously is our wellness and our well-being. So they're just some of the things I'm thinking about, like what I'm eating, my environment, and having some breaks, of taking some time out, maybe listening to a podcast.
Yep.
Or doing some meditation for a few minutes, or going for a light walk, a little bit of exercise.
100%. And that stuff, absolutely gold for you. And then you might talk to somebody else and they say, you know what, I don't want this isolation thing. I want to be around people as much as possible. And for their body, for their epigenetic profile, it's actually much more advantageous for them to spend more time together and not get into a meditation, but rather have a family meal together. that morning walk might be incredibly boring for somebody else, and they need a bigger stimulus to actually get more out of it as well. And so it's awesome that when you understand what's right for you, setting that environment up is really, really important, but also recognizing that there's other people who might be in the house who need something quite different, and working with them is going to be really important, because it's the real subtle things that can create a little bit of stress, and that's just going to dampen your ability to fight whatever comes at us.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're great tips. And I know that some of the work you're doing at PH 360, the programs and understanding your body type and what makes you tick and not tick, can help you find that balance that you need to find, just to keep that happy medium, particularly, which is really important for the next few months, because this is current situation with COVID-19. It's not going to go away overnight, and we actually need to be organised, to be self-managing, and actually really well planned. So thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. Super helpful.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me again.
All right. Thanks, Cam.
Okay.
See you.